Hi everyone, I am Janvi and I'm very excited to introduce you to Kinjal Bhansali. She has been my classmate from St. Xavier's College. We did our bachelor's together and now she's doing her master's in lifespan counseling from St. Xavier's College. I know that it's been a very desired course and a lot of people have been asking, not just me, also to her, about the entrances and how is the course like, what is the fee structure. So I hope that I get the opportunity to ask as many questions as possible to Kinjal about this course. But firstly, thank you so much for joining with me.
I'm really excited, Jani. Thank you for getting in touch. I'm glad that people are taking so much interest in the course. And yeah, I'm really excited to answer as many questions as you have.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So my first question is, Lifespan was it's a very new course. I think you're the first batch
Yeah.
doing the course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were
Yeah.
together in 2018, we finished our BA, and then you decided to take a gap year.
Yeah.
And then you took a gap year, and then in that year, when I started my master's, this course was not existing, and then next year
Yeah.
it came in. So,
Right.
first question is related to your gap year. Why did
Yeah.
you take it? And a lot of people do ask that, is it healthy? Is it better? Is it like even better to take a gap year and
Mm-hmm.
think exactly what you want to do, or is it just कि चलो सब लोग कर रहे हैं, just sit in the bandwagon and start studying
Yeah,
right away?
yeah. I think for me, it was important to take a gap year because I was not clear about the direction that I wanted to go in. Also, what worked for me is that I had made the decision that if I'm taking a gap year, I am going to be busy throughout. I'm going to do internships or certifications and stuff like that. So there was not even a single week in the gap year that I was just sitting and doing nothing. So I feel like if you have a proper plan for your gap year, I think you should go for it. Also, what is the purpose of it? So I knew that I was taking the gap year because I wanted to get more clarity on the course that I wanted to do later, whether I wanted to work with children later on in my career or with adults or in sports psychology, etc. So then I chose the correct internships according to that, and which really helped me make a better decision on the kind of course that I wanted to do later on.
That's
So
one.
yeah, so I guess if you have a purpose in mind about why you want the gap year, then absolutely you should go ahead. But it's not necessarily the right choice for everybody.
Okay. So after the internships after BA, because this will, I'm sure, will bring a lot of questions in the comments. That what about
Yeah.
the internship? Do you get some good internships after your BA?
Yeah, I think I was lucky enough to get a couple of good internships. It is difficult. It's even difficult after MA to get good internships or job offers for that matter. But if you look, I think there are quite a few opportunities there. It's not necessarily where you can practice counseling and stuff like that, but in content creation related to mental health or working as an assistant and stuff like that. That's quite. I mean, you might find it on a rare occasion.
Okay, that's good. So it's not necessary, like people like do sometimes people do expect that if you're doing an internship, it has to be like the other psychologists. So you made it quite good that it's quite clear now that as zaruri nahi hai ki you have to be a psychologist. You can also be
Yeah,
an
yeah.
assistant. I mean, you can't work as a psychologist in
Yeah,
any
not at all.
right. So now coming to the MA in lifespan counseling.
Mm-hmm.
First is entrance exam. Uh,
Yeah.
what do students expect and what should they, I mean, how should they prepare? How did you prepare for your entrance?
So there is an entrance exam, and it is basically the entrance exam is 100 marks of MCQ and then 20 marks of a subjective question. So the 100 marks MCQ is based on the psychology theory, and more than the theory, it's like application based questions. So if you're clear on concepts from psychology that you've studied like over BA and even before that, if you're clear on that, if you've not just rote learned, if you've understood the concepts, this should be easy for you because there are practical. Janvi, you were in Xavier, so you know what kind of MCQs we have. It really tests like your practical knowledge of every concept. So that's the kind of questions in the MCQ. The 20 mark question is based on your subjective opinions, critical thinking, and stuff like that. So that's not necessarily psychology theory, but it's more to test sort of your critical thinking and your subjective opinions.
Okay. So it's a total how many mark test?
120. 120. Yeah.
So 100 marks worth MCQs.
Yeah.
And 20 marks worth your critical opinion.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend? Like, should they just go over their BA books or what do you recommend?
So that's what I did. I went over all of my BA books. There are also some good like crash course videos online that you can watch to sort of just brush up your concepts. For people who are not from a psychology background, again, I think it's crucial to watch these videos and borrow textbooks and read up as much as you can. But again, I keep saying this, but the emphasis is on like your practical understanding of every concept. So in whatever way you get that, by reading articles, by watching videos, reading the textbooks, whatever you can do.
So it's like, say, something related to classical conditioning, and then there's an example, and then what kind of a conditioning is this? Is this operant?
Yeah, a lot of that. But yeah, I mean, so the different subjects would be everything that we've done in our graduation. So that starts from social, developmental psychology, right up to industrial psychology, statistics even. So yeah, so all of these subjects are covered in the MCQs.
Okay, that's great. So is the syllabus or anything like, is it mentioned anywhere on the website?
No, the syllabus is not given anywhere.
Okay.
But,
So
but this is what gets covered. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure people might feel a little overwhelmed. What is your personal suggestion or advice to them who are preparing for this?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, as long as you have some amount of like practical understanding, it shouldn't be difficult. I wasn't like a class topper or anything, but you know, if you're reading every concept with the aim that I want to understand and how is this applied, I think that should be the entrance should be quite easy for you to crack. Other than that, I don't think one must be overwhelmed. It's what we have done all along, especially for those from a psychology background. It's what you have done. So you already have it easier than those who don't. And I think we'll talk about those who are not from a psychology background. But yeah, don't get overwhelmed. Just try to read up as much as you can.
Okay, that's amazing. So the last time I met you in college and you told me about some internships at every semester. So now let's get on to the syllabus and what is your experience. So how is the syllabus like? What do you study in your course and what are the internships?
Okay, so the course is, of course, divided into 4 semesters. In the first semester, there are no internships. Then there's more of an experiential learning. So there are 5 one-on-one counseling sessions that the college provides you with, and 3 group therapy sessions. From the second semester onwards, there will be internships every semester. And the course is called Lifespan Counseling, right? So you're learning about counseling at childhood and adolescence. Then you're learning about counseling at young and middle adulthood, and then about late adulthood, right? So the semesters are also structured that way. In the second semester, you will be working with children and adolescents. In the third semester, you will be working with young and middle adults. And in the fourth semester, you'll be counseling people from late adulthood. So in the second semester, now this is keeping in mind that we did our third and fourth semester online. But in the second semester, we were working in public schools and counseling children from these schools. In the third and fourth semesters, we were just trying to recruit clients online by putting out brochures. But that might be very different once you're on campus. So for the later batches, they might have a different plan for that. But so yeah, every semester we have guided supervision to work with all of these clients.
That's so wonderful. So do you have to search for your internships at every semester or do they give it to you?
No, we don't have to search for it. They give it to us in the second semester. In fact, they had it all, perfectly planned out. They had allotted us the schools, etc. They allot us the number of clients even now. Even when it is online, we put out flyers and stuff, but they are supposed to mail our faculty, and the faculty then allots us clients. So it is their planning all of it, and we are not going out looking for internships or clients to work with ourselves.
That's wonderful. So now one question is also a lot of people ask that, for example, is speaking English compulsory in this course, or do other people from other backgrounds also join?
So the medium of instruction is mainly English. But no, I don't think speaking in English necessarily is compulsory, because also the kind of clients that we are working in, especially in field work, they are from different backgrounds. So when we were working in schools, we were majorly doing counseling in Hindi. Even later on, when we are doing online counseling, some clients do prefer that. But in terms of the course and the medium of instructions and all of that, that is majorly in English.
Okay, so even you're expected to write exams in English.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so as long as people who can write exams in English, you may not necessarily speak English, but they can still apply. And I think you've made it clear also that not just BA psychology, but also people from other
Yeah,
fields can apply, right?
yeah. That's a great thing about the course, in fact, that if you're from any other background, like if you've done BCom, BMS, BMM, whatever, as long as you've done one paper of psychology throughout your 3 years, you can still apply for the course.
So if somebody's not done even one course, is there a way to apply?
If you've not even done one paper in psychology, I doubt, because I think this is the criteria or the minimum requirement that's also stated in the eligibility. But I guess you could mail them maybe in an exceptional situation.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it would be the faculty's or the college's discretion, but I really don't know.
Yeah, but I'm really glad that, because this is like, it's getting like a more in US, for example, you don't have to do a BA in psychology in order to do a
Yeah.
MA or a PhD. So this is just wonderful.
Yeah.
And coming to your experience, I'm also going to ask you your own tips and suggestions for students who are preparing.
Yeah.
But before that, I want to know, how is your experience in this college?
I'm having a great time. In fact, I was hoping to study in Xavier's even for my MA. So, of course, it's a rigorous course. It's a very prestigious course as well. Even though it's just the first year, you can already tell that, it's a really, really good course. So it has to be rigorous. It has to be hectic. There's lots of submissions, deadlines, all of that. But as long as you can manage your time properly, I think it's not all that difficult to manage. And yeah, I'm really fortunate that I am in the first batch, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what's next for me after this course.
That's wonderful. So you, what are the placements that you're expecting out after this course?
So again, I am actually 1 month short of completing my course. I am in the middle of, I am towards completing my course. It's going to get done in May. After that is when we'll get our placements and stuff. So I don't know yet what the placements are going to be like, but mainly anything that a counseling psychologist can work as. So for example, with clinics and schools and all of that, I think those are the kind of placements that we're expecting.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I think so too, because in a lot of schools, people have permeable boundaries. So it's not like yehi type of counselor or yehi type ki degree works. I mean, they are MA in counseling psychology. I also saw somebody with a clinical psychology get into a school and counseling psychology get into a hospital. So I think it's the same with this lifespan. And I think it's a unique course. And because it's been, it does have a prestige. So yeah, maybe a last question on my side, which has been coming up. What is the fee structure of this course?
So according to what's on the website, it is 92,000 per annum. That might change later on, but I think it'll always be uploaded on the website. So you can always be on the lookout for that.
Okay. And how many people in your class?
30 people. 30 is the maximum number of people that you can have.
Okay, that's wonderful. So I think that pretty much answers a lot of questions that people have been asking me about this course in particular. Maybe something that you would like to say to the students who are preparing for this exam.
I guess, just like I said, it's a great course to be part of. You need to be prepared for there to be a lot of hard work, a lot of testing your limits, undergoing some rigorous training. But then you're also getting the worth of that. You're also getting a lot of great experiences in terms of the faculty, guides, supervisors, all of that. So it's a really good experience to be part of. But it doesn't come free of cost, right? So be prepared to be trained rigorously under this course.
I'm sure. So I think passion will kind of pull you through if you're very passionate. It may be, because I know when it's St. Xavier's, you do work a lot harder, but you're also equally prepared. You're also, when you come out in the market, you're just, I know that I've experienced it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can just imagine how it will be in the masters. And I think it's an afternoon,
Yeah.
evening course, right?
Yeah, it is. So right now, of course, our timings are different because it's online.
Okay.
But yeah, when we were on campus, it was in the afternoon.
Okay. I think that's wonderful. And where can we find more details about the subjects each semester and uh, all of this?
Yeah. So it's all on the website. You will also see like every subject, all the semester breakups and stuff. Maybe you could just post the website link in your description or so. I think it's xaviers.edu. Yeah, that's the website.
Okay. So over there you'll find the masters in
Yeah.
lifespan counseling.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, I think that pretty much answers most of the questions. If anybody still has questions, they can post it in the comments below. Thank you so much, Kinjal. If there's anything that I've missed, you can add. You need to
I
add.
guess you've covered it all. That's pretty much everything about the course. And like you said, if anybody has any more questions, I'd be very happy to answer those in the comments below.
Thank you so much, and I'm very, very grateful to you. Again, I always mention that always I make sure that I find somebody to come on my channel who is uh, helpful themselves, and you set a good example to a lot of other people. So I think that itself gives a message that help people around you, and just like Kinjal is doing for me, she has nothing to yeah, but she's still making this video for a lot of people who've been having so many questions. So thank you again, and I wish you all the very best. I'm so glad that you took this gap year and you are doing
Yeah.
this beautiful course. I'm sure it's
Thank you
going to
so
be
much, Janvi. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. And I think you're doing great work. That's why I was all the more excited to come and address everybody. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.